to the Resilience series. I'm Stephanie Weaver, the author of the upcoming Migraine Relief Plan Cookbook, which has the theme of resilience and is due out summer 2022 and is available for pre-order now. My guest today is Dr. Edith Ava Eger. Dr. Eger is a world-renowned clinical psychologist, the author of 2 books, The Choice and the Gift, 12 Lessons to Save Your Life, a pioneer in treating PTSD, and quite frankly, a national treasure. I'm very honored to welcome Dr. Edie. Thank you for being here today.
I'm so happy to be interviewed by you. You're the best.
Well, thank you so much. I couldn't imagine doing the Resilience series and not including you, as your life has been a testament to resilience. For those of you watching, Dr. Eger and her family were victims of the Holocaust, and you barely survived until liberation. You tell that story beautifully in your first book, The Choice. What struck me most about your story was what happened after you were liberated from the camps. Can you tell us about being sent home and arriving in Hungary?
After the liberation, I was put in a bed and they put me in a cast, so I could not move too much. But every morning I was waiting for my parents to show up. And then after a while, I realized that they're not coming back, and reality hit me. And I became very suicidal after I was liberated. And think it was very important for me to tell you that the God that I discovered in Auschwitz became the guide for me to acknowledge that it's not why me, but what now? My boyfriend who told me I have beautiful eyes and beautiful hands, and I asked everyone in Auschwitz to tell me about my hands and my eyes, was killed a day before liberation. So I fell into this existential vacuum, no purpose in life, not to ask why, but what for. And this is what I'm experiencing today with many people who are put in a place they were not prepared for, and we were told one thing and we found another. So I tell people it's okay to be disappointed, it's okay to be not okay, and it's okay to go through the valley of the shadow of death, but don't camp there, don't set up household there. So I'm here to say a lot of yeses that I hope people will say, yes, I am, yes, I can, yes, I will.
Thank you for that. So one of the things that struck me was that my sort of assumption was that when the camps were liberated, everyone got wonderful medical care and they were taken care of and they were given money, and and none of that was true. You were sent home on a train, you had to ride on the top of the train, and you had no idea who was going to be, if your home was going to still be there or who was going to be there. So can you tell us a little bit about arriving back home and who you found and what happened then?
Thank you for asking me, because from Vienna to Prague, I was sitting on the top of a train with the Russians. And when we arrived in Prague and got off the train, I saw advertisement of my sister Clara with the violin that she's giving a concert. And that's how I found out she's alive. It makes me cry right now because her Christian professor smuggled her out and hid her until the end of the war. And in 1985, I was invited to New Zealand to honor the people who risked their lives to save others. So thank you for asking me that, because my sister Clara was hidden by her Christian professor, And then when I got home, my sister was there waiting. And I remember I had some kind of a scarlet fever. And unfortunately, she had a concert and she got my sickness and she had to scratch herself. Can you see that picture? And going back doing her thing, it was immediately very, very clear to me that she wants to be my mother now. And I became her little child. And that's how she introduced me to other people. I want you to meet my little one. And my sister became a violinist with the Sydney Symphony in Sydney Opera House, a beautiful place. I hope you have been there and done that as I did. And so she became truly my mom and took care of me.
Yes, and
My
so
sis-
just to be clear for everyone watching, so you and your sister were the only members of your family who survived the war, correct?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So you
I,
eventually married and you traveled with your husband to the US as immigrants and had a family, but it was years before you told anyone you were a Holocaust survivor. How did keeping that secret imprison you?
well, I didn't know just what to do with my past. But in my TED Talk, as you know, I began to work with paraplegics coming from Vietnam. And people don't come to me, they're sent to me. So I had two different reactions, and I differentiate between reaction and responding. This man was chronically angry and beating up the wall and why me and just screaming and blaming God, blaming country. Conversely, the other one I say was amazing because it was the same symptomatology, the same diagnosis, the same prognosis. But this guy said to me, "Hey, doc, God gave me a second chance, and I can see my children's eyes much closer. I can see the flowers much closer. So I am so blessed. And here I am with a white coat. It says Dr. Eger, Department of Psychiatry, and I feel like a liar. I felt like an terrible imposter, and they really reminded me that I cannot take them further than I have gone myself. So I went to my sister and I told her, I want to go back to Auschwitz. I want to go back to the lion's den and look at that lion in the face and reclaim my innocence and assign the shame and guilt to the perpetrator. You see, anger is not the primary emotion. If you really look at anger, you find out that you either vent the anger or you suppress it, which I chose.
And
And
what has been most meaningful for you in breaking that silence, do you think?
what it makes difference to me that I am more in charge, that I refuse to be a victim. It's not my identity, it's not who I am, it's what was done to me in a way that I can now choose my attitude, the way I respond rather than react. I refuse to be a victim. I never forget it. I will not overcome it. I don't even know the term, overcome it. But I came to terms with it. I call it my cherished wound. And I am talking to you again. And I know that I just had my 94th wonderful birthday, and I don't care about chronological age.
So, the last few years in the United States have felt fairly bleak to a lot of us. How do you stay so positive with your perspective on, everything that's happened in your life from age 94?
I think your self dialogue can change your whole body chemistry. And what I say to myself, I don't like it, it's inconvenient, it's unpleasant, and it's temporary, and I can survive it. And I get rid of the yes, but. So give me the but, and I give you yes, and furthermore. And yes, it's temporary because everything is temporary. We're born alone, we die alone. There is something between birth and death called life. And I put the quality into my life from the minute I get up in the morning and look outside and say to myself, Edie, you made it thus far. So the question is not why me, it's what now.
That's beautiful. How do you define resilience?
Resilience has to do learning how everything that we suffer for make us stronger. So I think it's very important that suffering makes you stronger, a better survivor. And you say, yes, and I'm here now. It's easier to die than to live. I assure you, I wanted to die after I was liberated. And thank God, God has told me that I have work to do, and I'm here today, and I'm so glad, I'm so happy, and most of all, so grateful that I don't say why me, but I say what now.
That's beautiful. So my last question to everyone is tell us about how you take care of yourself, your self-care resilience strategies. How do you take care of Dr. Edie?
Dr. Eger, Edie has scoliosis and has a very, very bad back that is affecting her lung. So when I get up in the morning, usually at 6, I put on a machine called Vest, VEST. I call it my shake and bake. And so I do my shake and bake and take care of my body. I also take care of my mind, that I start thinking about the day, because life is just one day. Just one day. We're born alone, we die alone. And so I plan my day having a good balance between working, loving, and playing.
That's
Do
such
you
great.
play?
Yes.
Do you? It's very hard to put just time aside to have a good balance in your life, to be able to give of yourself. Because if you were only concentrating on the me, you didn't make it. So I think the past is in the present, and I'm choosing to be, hopefully, a good role model to others, to be a survivor and never a victim of anything or anyone or any circumstance.
That's fantastic. Dr. Edie, thank you again for being here today and sharing your story. Please visit dredithseger.com to learn more about her work, and you can find both her books, which I highly recommend, The Choice and The Gift, wherever books are sold. Check out other episodes of the Resilience series on Facebook Watch, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow me at SWeaverMPH to learn more about my upcoming book, The Migraine Relief Plan Cookbook, which is due out in spring 2022 and is available for pre-order now. Thank you so much for watching.